Today, we are going to talk about one of the most powerful and I think most practical ideas from Sun Tzu's The Art of War. And it's all about choosing where you fight. Now, this isn't just for ancient generals on a battlefield. This is about the environments that shape our everyday lives, our focus, our habits, even our relationships. So let's get into it. You know the feeling, right? You set a new goal. You're totally fired up. You tell yourself, okay, this time I'm just going to grit my teeth and do it. And then, a week or two later, you're right back where you started. So why does relying on pure willpower feel like you're trying to push a giant boulder up a hill only to have it roll right back down on you? Well, here's the thing. The problem probably isn't you. It's not a lack of discipline, it's a lack of strategy. See, you're trying to fight a battle in an environment that is actively working against you. And it turns out, failure is often just a matter of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's not a personal flaw.
So that's what we're going to break down today. First, we're going to look at why willpower just isn't enough. Then we'll turn to Sun Tzu for his ancient wisdom on this. And finally, and this is the best part, we'll translate that strategy into a practical system you can start using like today.
It's funny, modern science is really just now confirming what ancient generals knew all along. Willpower is a limited resource. It runs out. It gets drained by stress, by making too many decisions, by all the temptations around us. So relying on willpower alone, it's like planning a battle assuming it's only ever going to be a perfect sunny day. It's just not a realistic strategy. So let's bring in Sun Tzu. For him, a general's #1 job wasn't just to look at a map, it was to understand how the land itself, the terrain, actually shapes the psychology of his soldiers. The ground under their feet wasn't just dirt and rocks, it was a powerful tool for shaping human behavior.
Sun Tzu had this incredible concept he called desperate ground. Picture this, it's a place where there is literally no escape route. When soldiers are on desperate ground, you don't have to give them a motivational speech to be brave. The environment itself makes courage the only option. He even said a good general might create this situation on purpose, to kick away the ladders, so to speak, after his troops move forward. And this is the core idea, the big takeaway right here. The ground you stand on determines your spirit. The right environment can make people brave. It can make a scattered team focused. It can make a weak force strong. It's the circumstances, not just the character of the people, that really decides the outcome.
So how does any of this apply to us? I mean, we're not dealing with mountains and marshes, but we do have our own battlefields, don't we? Our homes, our offices, our laptops, our phones. These are the places where our daily struggles for focus and self-improvement really happen.
And this comparison makes it so clear. An army with no route of retreat is ancient desperate ground. What's the modern version? A writer with a deadline who literally unplugs the internet router. It's the exact same principle. You're intentionally creating an environment where distraction isn't an option.
And these are your modern terrains. Your schedule and your routines, they dictate what's easy and what's hard. Your physical space, your home, your desk, is filled with cues that trigger good or bad habits. Your digital world is just loaded with escape routes. And yeah, even your social circles, they can either help you or they can pull you off course. This quote from modern behavioral science pretty much says it all. It's the perfect summary of Sun Tzu's timeless idea. No matter how motivated you feel, if your environment is designed for distraction, distraction is eventually going to win. The field really does determine your success.
So this brings us to the solution, and it's actually really empowering. Instead of trying to be more disciplined, we need to become better architects. We need to consciously design our environments to give ourselves a home field advantage, to make the things we want to do the easiest things to do.
The new motto is don't try harder, design smarter. And the strategy is super simple. It's got 2 parts. For the good habits you want to build, you reduce the friction. You make them so easy to start. And for the bad habits you want to break, you guessed it, you increase the friction. You make them difficult, invisible, a real pain to get to. Okay, let's make this real. Let's start with an example for getting focused work done. How do you actually design an environment for deep concentration? Well, first, you create a dedicated space just for work. That's your accessible ground for focus. Then you use apps to block distracting websites, you turn off your phone notifications. You're basically creating hemmed-in ground for your attention, removing all the easy escape routes. And finally, you schedule those deep work blocks, committing yourself to one single mission. In this idea of environmental design, it works beautifully in our personal lives too. Let's take our relationships, for instance.
A simple rule, like no phones at the dinner table, is a perfect example. It's not about being strict, it's about increasing the friction for distraction. It makes connecting with each other the path of least resistance. Or creating a comfy, screen-free zone in your house. That's like choosing favorable terrain for a good conversation. You're architecting connection by design. Okay, one last example, and it's a classic. Let's say you want to read more before bed, but you always find yourself just scrolling on your phone instead. Sound familiar? This is a masterclass in friction design. You put a book on your pillow. I mean, it's literally the first thing you see. Zero friction. Then you move the TV remote out of the bedroom. You charge your phone all the way across the room. Suddenly, picking up the book is the easiest choice. You see? You're not trying harder. You've just designed a field where reading naturally wins. So you're probably wondering how you can start using this right now. Well, you can, with a really simple 1-minute practice I like to call the terrain audit. It's all about becoming the general of your own environment. Okay, so here's how it works. Step 1, just pick one goal or habit you're working on. Step 2, look around. What in your environment is helping you? Step 3, what's getting in your way? And now for the most important part, step 4, make one small change today. Just one. That's it. You've already started to re-architect your field.
So as we wrap up, let's just rethink what discipline even is. It's not about beating yourself up or white-knuckling your way through life. True sustainable discipline is actually an act of kindness. It's being kind to your future self by designing a world where it's just a little bit easier for them to succeed. And ultimately, that's the whole idea. Don't fight your environment. Don't fight your own nature. Instead, learn to master the fields of your life, your home, your office, your digital spaces. Because when you do that, you'll find that those fields start to naturally, almost effortlessly, guide you towards success. In our next explainer, we are going to keep digging into the wisdom of the art of war. You can find the entire series in the playlist if you want to check it out. Thank you so much for joining me.